In less than 14 hours, JUP is going to go live on Solana. This is the biggest airdrop from an actual project that's not a meme coin on Solana. So this is going to be completely massive. There's going to be 1.35 billion tokens that will be available, or basically in circulation, or potentially to be in circulation. I'll have my price prediction for you shortly, and I do think the actual trading volume will be over $4 billion, not just with JUP and USDC or whatever, but with everything across the entirety of DEXs on Solana. So we'll quickly cover that now, and then we'll cover each thing as fast as I can. So this is on DeFi Llama. This is the DEX volume with all of its peaks. This is the last bull cycle, and you can see this cycle just on another level. And this was back in December, 2.6 billion. And at the moment, well, yesterday, 853 million. And I'm predicting 4 billion. I don't know if I can have a look and see what other DEXs are doing. What day was this? That was 24 billion on that day. I have no idea why, but not important. Either way, for Solana, it's going to break records. So first up, we've got a tweet from Benny, who's just gone with all the alpha to save us all valuable time. So if you want to use JUP in the ecosystem, this is what you want to look at. Community Finance is going to offer JUP lending, incentivized vaults and juicy points. Drift Protocol, 2x point boost for trading JUP, spot and perpetuals. So that might be a good place where you want to actually put on some trades. Soulflare Wallet provides a seamless claiming process for JUP. I haven't been able to work this out, so I have no idea what this is and if that's true. And then there's a host of other things. I think this would be pretty cool as well. Borrowing Sol against your JUP with Textrify or Lend and Earn. The reason I say why I think this could be cool is because although we can see MarginFi has an isolated JUP pool, I don't actually know, I'm not completely sure if this pool means that you can borrow Sol against it. I'm just not sure. Maybe you can. And then a host of other things. Phantom, Drop Smooth, JUP Checker, and you can see everything else here. But either way, it's big. It's really, really big. So onto Phantom. So this is in the mobile wallet, but it's also in this wallet as well, which is really cool. You can just click on this, and then it says you are eligible for 2,600 JUP tokens. This is just a tutorial wallet. It says all of the eligible wallets, and then you click learn more, and you go to the website. So that's really, really cool. I haven't noticed anything in Soulflare that did that. I did a little bit of a look around, nor Backpack. Nothing with Backpack there. So I think Phantom's going to be leading there. We'll cover wallets a little bit later on, but I've got all three there just to be fair to everyone and to make sure that you have the best chance at doing what you want to do. Now, Pheonix Trade, I imagine they're going to allow JUP to be launched, but for some reason they've gone absolutely quiet on social media for like over a week. So I've done a tutorial on Pheonix Trade, good place to put in limit orders, but I don't know if the market's going to be live, and they're just they don't believe in marketing today. Soulflare, as I mentioned before, apparently there's some way to do a seamless claim as per Benny, but I didn't notice it. The only thing I did notice was this tweet down here that says JUP is launching in blah, 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 but this is for mobile only. And you don't want to have all of your wallets, of course, in mobile. As for Backpack, other than this saying that Backpack Exchange will have a JUP launch, there's nothing on the timeline. So once again, look, not to be critical, but go with what people are searching for. Provide JUP content. Now, the launch. So there's 1.35 billion circulated supply. 50 million of that goes to sexes. So they'll use that for market making. That's normal. 300 million to LP launch pool. I believe it's actually 250 million, and there's like 50 million on standby for immediate use if required. By the way, I should definitely mention, what is my price prediction? Well, we'll go over how I've kind of got to this, but I think by the end of 24 hours, it will be about $1.40. So that's extremely high, and I have no idea if I'm wrong. I feel like I want to play it safe, and I want to say maybe it touches $1, but I'm going to go with $1.40. I don't know why. Not financial advice. I have no idea if I'm going to be right. I have no idea. Why do I think this is going to go to $1.40? Well, let's just cover it now, I guess. So Meow is, I mean this in a very good way. He's kind of like a cult leader. So he pulls in attention. Now, I've never watched even a minute of Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever it's called. But what they do well, and I'm not comparing the two, is they actually pull in attention. They get attention. The more attention, the more followers, the more people are aware of what you're doing, the better. The more attention I have on YouTube, the more subscribers, the more views, etc. There are people out there that make terrible content and yet have more attention because they've done something right, and that's just how it works in the attention economy. Now, if you're a bit of a big brain, maybe a little bit hyperactive, and have been around for quite some time, like Meow has, then it's a little bit different. I mean, look at this. This is 425,000 impressions. JUP, this is 1.9 million impressions. I don't care what happens. It's good to have goals, my friend. So he's kind of like the people's hero in a sense. And it's more than just him, of course. It's a team of people, but he's the spokesperson and he's just prepping things. So I wouldn't want to bet against him because he's been around for quite some time. He's probably got, let's have a look and see. Oh, let's scroll up to the top. We can see his bio. I've gone over this before, but he's been around for a decent amount of time, like helped create wrapped BTC and stuff like that. So I've met him, but I have no idea about him really personally. But I just think that he's going to be a good person to lead it into what's happening. So I'm kind of betting on him. So tomorrow when you're actually going to go and claim your JUP, you just go to lfg.jup.ag or just jup.ag and just follow the link. If you also jump into Phantom, what I'm going to imagine is you'll click here tomorrow and then you'll be able to click on the link to go directly to the page, just so you know you're going to the legitimate page. Now let's have a look at the launch pool details here. I've explained this before with the WEN token, but we'll just click on this and let's have a look and I'll tell you how this is supposed to work. From my understanding, and I have checked this with someone from the JUP team, there are 250 million tokens in the liquidity pool, and as they get bought up, the price goes up. It's a price curve. If we scroll on down, we can see the token table with the price, and this is good because it's from basically 40 cents to 70 cents, which means that it's not as effective for bots. Like, you can be very sure that if a bot gets it between 40 and 50 cents, then they're likely going to be able to sell for a profit. However, the amount of USDC that has to enter the pool, so buy orders, to get up to like 52 cents is $63 million. So it's not like when Nansen went and botted WEN for 100,000 and then made over $1 million. It's not like that. It's very different. Now, if we go down further, we can clearly see that the pool will be hitting this point and there will be $130 million worth of USDC in the pool. So what people are going to really think about is if people start to sell their JUP, will this price, will the buy orders start to go here and then it will start to go down? And that kind of looks like this. Buy order, buy order, buy order, and then it just heads back down like that as more tokens enter the pool and more USDC leaves the pool. So I don't know. No one knows. I've spoken to quite a few people. I want to do this video earlier, but I was just trying to do as much research for just hours and hours and hours, trying to work out where is this going to go. And the thing is, people do a lot of comparisons to Uniswap, and Uniswap, it's had its heyday. It did launch in so many respects, DeFi 1.0 on the blockchain, on Ethereum, and then the code was forked to other blockchains. I won't go into that. It did a major thing, but what Meow and JUP have said is this is DeFi 2.0. So I think this is going to be a major liquidity pool event. People already know what happened with Uniswap. However, with this, the goal is 10 times the number of active users before revenue sharing is considered to be turned on. And I think because there are no VC allocations, that there will be some people just wanting to buy. Also, there's already pre-orders happening at 70 cents. And we'll go over that in a little bit. So people have already been buying at 70 cents, which means that churning through this liquidity is highly likely, because I have a feeling that there are going to be some big VCs that just want to go and buy $60 million. And you might think that's a little bit crazy, but in the last cycle, 3AC Capital, they went bankrupt or whatever. They were basically, working with Luna, and they had not them themselves, but a group of people. They had $1 billion worth of BTC that they did a swap for Luna. And there were so many red flags there, and yet I still had Luna, so I just ignored them. What about something that's just not full of red flags? What is something that's actually been worked on for 2 years and is just integrated many things and has many great things? So I wouldn't be surprised to see this go quite a bit higher. But for now, let's also just mention the fact that you will be able to also buy this on exchanges. So if the blockchain just goes crazy slow, well, not really slow, but if it just kind of, if you are not spending enough to get your transaction through, then Bybit could be for you. There's also other ones, KuCoin, MEXC, OKX, Bybit, Pheonix, Gate, and HTX. Waiting on Binance and Coinbase for sure. I'm sure they're going to come to the party. OKX isn't green here, but they do have a launch here. So this is happening. JUP deposits will open. Well, good luck. And JUP withdrawals will open. So anyone that's trading on these exchanges, you won't be able to actually withdraw necessarily for the first little bit, but there's still an option. By the way, sadly, I have 3 wallets here, and that's because I think Phantom's going to be taxed too hard. You know what? It's already having issues. So big fan of Phantom, worked for Phantom in the early days, back when it was the 3 co-founders and me. And I did all their support until some epic people joined and then I went off and did my own thing. But I'm a big fan of Phantom. I won't get into why, just I am. Solflare, they've done a lot of things this cycle. I feel they were kind of fading some things last cycle, to be honest. And Backpack, I'm not a crazy fan about, but I think you need to use all 3 of these wallets potentially for tomorrow because they're going to be hit. They're going to be hit really, really hard. And it just looks like I'm hours away and Phantom's having some grief. It's working okay now though. So hopefully everything holds. So if you are unfamiliar with the websites, solflare.com. If in doubt, use the correct Twitter, but this is definitely the website, solflare.com. And how you know it's the correct actual extension is it has over 300,000 users. And you cannot fake that easily with a fake extension. Backpack.app, really not the best website here, but click on downloads, Chrome, and then 100,000 users, okay? So just pay attention to that sort of stuff. Now, the next step of what you may want to do is grab yourself a Helios RPC. So Helios Dev, get started for free, products, RPCs, etc. This will open, get started for free. This will open the dashboard, and then you can go ahead and you can connect and sign a transaction to let yourself in. Then you add an email here in order to unlock higher TPS. This is just free RPC. What you can do is go here, and then you can just go and copy this. Or if you're actually going to be kind of pushing a little bit of volume, I would go and get a month of this, $49. I've used it once before to try and get the Mad Lads mint happening and didn't work. And that wasn't a clean mint, to be honest. Nevertheless, Backpack, jump into your wallet and then come up to the top here and go to settings. And then from here, preferences, and then Solana, and then RPC connection, custom, just paste it in. Switch, and now we're on this custom RPC. Go do a test transaction, of course, make sure it's all good, and hopefully it manages to hold. You have to keep in mind though, when there are hundreds of thousands of transactions going through, and there will be in every single second, then it's very hard to get yours in there unless you're doing a few tricks. And even if your RPC is solid, it's still going to run into other issues. It's just the nature of blockchain. Things haven't scaled as fast as we'd like, but they're doing very, very well. And this sort of stuff, it wouldn't break Ethereum because Ethereum's built differently, but it would mean that the cost for a transaction would probably be $5,000 on Ethereum for one transaction. Now, before I take you into a little bit of strategy, I just want to mention this again. There are 0 JUP to investors, regardless of their brand and prestige. 0. So this team has done nothing to sell to VCs or big dogs, which means if the big dogs are smart, they would have hired a botter to try and get as many tokens as they can at 40 cents, because there's too many people that want to hold on to the token for the Launchpad access. Launchpads just print money in all cycles. They just do. They're like, a Launchpad is what an IDO is. A new project comes along, a token comes out. In order to get this token, you need to have some of their tokens. You submit your application in some sort of DeFi product kind of Launchpad-y thing. You put in your USDC, you get back the tokens. The token normally 10x's. That's kind of how it works. In fact, I'll just quickly show you. Radium was kind of a premier IDO thing in the past. This is just a DEX. It's not a terribly good one these days. Let's have a look at the accelerator. All right. So this, back in the day, you had to hold Ray, stake Ray, and then you had lottery tickets and you put in your USDC and then hopefully you got something. Now the biggest financial one was this one, Atlas and Polis. And I remember it was a $69 USDC allocation and 24 hours later, that was worth $10,000. Similar thing with this. I grabbed a couple, I think I sold it like 4,000. The blockchain went down. And even these other ones did pretty damn well. Jenny Pets, I can't remember what they did. My point is, launchpads do well. Exactly how the launchpad for JUP will do, I have no idea. But there's going to be people with 1 million JUP tokens and they're going to hold them because it's just going to give them access to the launchpad in the future. Now, if you do want to do some selling before the markets kind of open officially, you can do it on Whales Market, or if you want to do some buying here as well. I've done a tutorial on this, just search or link below. It's very, very simple. We can see the total volume is $28 million and the average bids have been 47 and the average ask about 69 cents. But if we have a look at 100% filled just recently, also keep in mind with the insane amount of growth they've had, website will slow down. You can see they're still filling for like 69 cents, 70 cents. You can also use, if you're from Ethereum, app.aevo.xyz. Don't love the product. It's not integrated with Solana. It's on EVMs, Arbitrum, Ethereum, maybe Optimism. And this is just basically shorting or longing the price. I'm not going to mention how this works. If you understand how perps work, then you'll get what this is. If not, it's way too complex. Just forget about it. So what are my strategies for actually trying to get some JUP early on? Basically, DCA and limit order. These are both highly unlikely, unfortunately, to work, but I'm still going to try. I'm going to show you something really, really interesting as well. So if I put in, let's say I put in like $500. I want $500 worth. I'm going to go every 30 seconds over 3 orders. If I change this price to 0.4, well, it says max price is below the minimum price of 0.5. Okay, 0.5. It says your DCA will most likely not fill. Try setting a higher max price. The crazy thing is, I'm not doing this for the memes, but if I set it at 0.69, it still says your DCA will most likely not fill. Try setting to a higher max price, which means a couple of things. Maybe they've just put this in and it's a little bit of a, I don't know, error. Or the JUP team has a strong feeling based on the number of investors that have reached out to them and they've said, nah, buy it yourself. That potentially, just potentially, this, the demand is going to be crazy high. Like crazy, crazy high. I mean, the goal with this is I get JUP in the first few minutes, ideally, right? At the price that it's been sold for. That's the goal. And they take a platform fee and it still thinks it's going to fail. But nevertheless, I'm going to do it differently. Okay, so we're going to go with $300 and I'm just going to set a couple of orders, 5, 8. So 58 cents. I'm going to start this DCA. I'll do 2 orders there. We confirm that transaction. So this goes into the bot and the bot will only execute if it can and if the priority fees make it worthwhile. Meaning if it has to spend a couple of dollars in order to secure the transaction for you, then it's not going to do it because it's not going to make it because it's only taking 0.1%, which means it is in your interest to do a higher amount. So I'm going to keep it like this and I'll change this to 66 and I'll go with a higher amount like so. Start DCA. We'll just do 0.6. We'll just do it like this and then confirm. Now you can of course do lower. You know that you can't go lower than 0.5. So if we do that, we can't do it like that, but you can still go low. You can also try a limit order here. So you're selling this to receive this and buy JUP at this rate. You suggested, well, it's suggesting that. So we'll go with 100, confirm. Last time when launched, nothing, not a single thing went through. We'll try $200 at 0.55, place and confirm and confirm. Those are some of the things that you can do in order to set yourself up for JUP. So once again, my price prediction is $1.40. I don't think it's going to hold at that stage. It's going to give it quite a hefty valuation, but I think that could be it. If I could be a little bit more relaxed, I'd say maybe $1 to $1.40. Normally when things hit something like $1 or $100 or $1,000, they have like, there's a mental kind of thing that happens where you're like, ooh, it's a nice round number. I'm going to take profits. That could certainly happen here. However, I still have that as a target. I just think the institutions, the VCs, the big players will want some of this dupe. Good luck with the JUP launch. Stay curious, beware of scammers, and we'll catch you in the next video.